Well, Pokémon Masters continues to bring us some interesting crossovers with the newest addition of a first Team Star member, that being Giacomo. Well, okay, we've had Penny in the game for a while, but she wasn't really a member of Team Star during the course of the main story in Scarlet and Violet. Anyway, it's been a while since I've talked about Pokémon Masters, and I really want to make it more of a regular thing, especially for early week videos. So let's jump right into the story as Giacomo meets up with Penny on Pasio. He's also followed by director Clavel. And I think that this is also a great idea given that he was very involved in the Team Star storyline, or at least toward the end of it. During the event we hung out with this really cool looking dude named Clive. Over on Twitter, Pokémon Masters was teasing his reveal a few days early by asking followers who they thought this shadow belonged to. And while we would eventually get the reveal that it was Clavel running, everybody couldn't help but bring up the fact that it looked like the "I just wanted my fries, bro." Well, back to the mobile game, he seems happy to be here. Giacomo suspects that he followed him because of how much he cared about the students at the academy, with everything that he did for Team Star. Hugh walks in and catches up with him, and I like that this is a little continuation of his friendship with Penny that grew from the past event. Funny how she ended up becoming friends with two loud, spiky-haired boys. Giacomo begins to settle in, saying that he's excited to meet and work with some of the other musicians in Pasio, though later on he has trouble getting his system to work out, at which point Sophocles happens to be walking by and offers to help. Again, another good callback to when he and Penny bonded over trying to update some of the systems at the Pokemon Center, and they reference that moment outright. Must be pretty interesting for Giacomo to arrive in Pasio and discover that Penny hasn't had much trouble meeting new people. While they're hanging out after solving their tech issues, they hear Team Skull causing trouble, and Giacomo steps in to confront them. It was actually pretty smart setting up things with Sophocles first because he's able to fill him in on the backstory being from Alola. They have a little battle when Team Skull thinks they're being challenged, but afterwards Giacomo says that he just wants to talk and understand what's going on. Their big sister Plumeria comes by and is able to help them hear things out, because Giacomo is actually just worried about them. He mentions what happened with Team Star and how things went downhill, so he just wanted to make sure the same thing didn't happen with Team Skull. It's really funny because with both Team Star and Skull being a little more personal compared to others, their admins have a similar way of looking out for the grunts. Honestly, the idea of having these characters meet the way they did was pretty perfect. Especially because Giacomo invites the grunts to his jam session after hearing them rap, because, you know, Team Skull just does that all the time. And the performance they put on is yet another time I wish we had like full-on voice acting or could at least hear what's being performed, because they also get Piers, Roxy, and Ryuki, and I just know that collab would go crazy. But oddly, after the performance, the story takes an interesting turn with director Clavel. After he spent some time learning about how things are on Pasio, even stumbling across Chairman Rose, which really felt like a tease because he's Penny's uncle and they were both in the storyline but didn't interact at all, I just know that when we eventually get Peony, things are gonna get really good. Anyway, after talking to Maxie of all people and bonding over their history of Pokemon research, Clavel decides that he wants to build an academy here on Pasio, and he even asked Penny and Giacomo to help out. And like I said, this was an interesting direction to take things, but honestly it is kinda neat. Because with Team Star in general, yeah, they were rebellious and eventually just stopped attending classes, but they didn't necessarily hate school, because the academy in Paldea is where they met all their friends and were able to discover their treasure and their classmates. Giacomo himself was even a member of a student council. The epilogue from the DLC shows us that he's actually really comfortable in class and is pretty smart. Though they mentioned the school they want to establish in Pasio won't only be about studying, the purpose of it is to continue bringing people together and allowing them to learn from each other and build relationships based on their shared skills and interests. It really does bring it all together and makes you realize the importance of the academy in Scarlet and Violet, not strictly as a means of learning, but as a place that allows you to grow alongside Pokemon and other students. So I'm pretty excited to see where the story goes from here. I imagine that as the other Team Star admins are brought into the game, we'll check in on the progress of the Pasio Academy and eventually see how some of the other Pokemon characters are able to utilize it. Well, that has been this little event that seems to basically be starting another side story arc for Pokemon Masters. I really enjoyed it, though sadly I don't think I'll be trying to scout for Giacomo, but I'm definitely glad that he's here, and I was happy to play through this event given all that we've seen of Team Star throughout the course of Generation 9. But let me know what you think in the comments below and which Team Star admin you'd like to see make their way to Pasio next. Anyway, I should get back to doing my very own studying and treasure hunt. Thank you to every channel member for your continued support, including the Great Gators, Tyler Hopper, Jake Brody, GigaWiiU64, Isabella Lawrence, Alive R360, Nani, The Shoeman, Copybot, Master, Chaos Form 02, Alex Switch Shiny Hunter, Locadox, Michael Snyder, Koi13, Cemetery Hill, Pastel Blood, Cosmo Zero, Rainfrux, Cheez-It62, GatorKid509, TF, Mathaclog947, Taijirai, Justin R, Phantom, and Quago. If you would like to support, see your name here, get access to emotes for comments, live streams, and sometimes early videos, you can become a channel member today. You can also follow me on Twitter as well for more memes. Anyway, this is Gatorix, and I'll catch you all later.
Start your adventure together in the Pokémon trading card game Scarlet and Violet. Coming soon. Products sold separately, cards vary by pack.